How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. As the title says, I'm going to give you all the secrets I've learned on how to work as fast as possible at Amazon Fresh. So far, I've worked there for 2 training shifts of 4.5 hours, and then I've worked 3 actual shifts of 4 hours each. On the very first shift, I became the 100 Club. It's something that they put you in if you are a very, very fast scanner. In fact, I scanned so fast that the manager saw this and they're like, hey, take a look at this. This guy scanned very fast on his first day. Now, I'm not trying to brag or anything. This video is really intended for me to teach you how to scan fast and all the tips and tricks that I've learned on how to do this. That was the first day. But after the third shift, I've learned various things and I feel like I was a little bit faster, maybe like 30% faster than I was on the first day. So I just keep on getting faster and faster as I learn everything. So today I'm gonna teach you all the tips and tricks on how to work fast at Amazon Fresh. This video is not sponsored by Amazon. These are my views only. The first speed hack is, of course, opening paper bags. Here it goes. Do it in a continuous and limited speed motion. Like that. If it's like a quarter turn, right, you have to do it much faster, like that. And this will cause more stress on the paper bag and it might rip. The second part, you gotta break little pieces of cardboard that goes at the bottom for anything that is chilled. Imagine this is the big piece of cardboard, right? So what I do in order to break them up, you need to break them up before you go around putting in each bag, because you have 2 hands to do so. Otherwise, you know, your hands are kind of tied with one hand trying to put it in the bag. And so you want 2 hands to kind of break it apart. They're perforated so that if you bend it one way, it doesn't quite break, okay? So you gotta bend it back the other way. And yes, that might also not quite break. There's still 6 pieces in here. So what I do is I fold it in like this, fold it in like this, and then fold it back. You just want to break them apart so that they are in individual pieces before you go and put it in each bag. I find that that is the fastest so far. There are also liners within the bag if it's a chilled item. And if you buy Amazon Fresh, you might notice that those things are inside your bag and someone goes and puts them in there, right? So assuming this is the liner, right? You want to kind of roll it kind of like this, like twice over. So like, you know, there's 2 circles. Why do you want to do this? Because it gets small enough. It needs to be small enough so you can quickly put it in the bag. If you try to make it about the same size of the bag or just slightly smaller, right? You're gonna have to go, oh, like this, I'm gonna try and fit it in there like that, right? So the idea with making it smaller is that it'll fit in the bag very easily. Once you put it in the bag, it's like, boom, right there. Boom, you put another one, boom, 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 boom. You put them all in, and then after you do all that, you reach your hand in there and just kind of expand it. That's the trick. Cart navigation is basically if you can push a cart correctly and not knock into things, and you want to do a U-turn around a shelf or something, you want to have enough room so that you do this smoothly and also quickly. Doing a U-turn is probably one of the harder things. You really want to start in the middle of the aisle, and then as you exit the aisle, you kind of hug the corner that you want to turn into. And you know, it takes a little bit of practice in order to move the cart, but with enough practice, you can move it fast. And at the same time, you don't want to move it too fast because you need to be able to stop on a dime in case, you know, you're going to hit someone. Of course, when you enter in an aisle, you have to, you know, let people know you're entering in just in case there might be collision or anything, and you got to do it at a reasonable speed. There are different types of carts that you can use, and I prefer to use the really long ones where you can fit about 7 bags on the top and 3 bags on the bottom. And imagine the cart is like this long, right? Long this way, and here's the pushing side. Because I have the scanner on my right hand, I want to put all the bags that's on the top kind of scooted all the way to the left. Why? Because there's a barcode on the right. And whenever I toss some groceries in, I need to scan the bag. If this bag is too close to the right edge. I find that I don't have room because there is a shelf right here to scan the barcode. So if this is pushed all the way to the left side, and I just have more clearance to go and scan the barcode, because you can't really scan the barcode at an angle. You could like kind of try to turn the bag a little bit and scan, but you know, that's an extra step. You want this all the way on the left, and then you just go bam, click, click, right? The next item is to memorize a floor plan. If you do this long enough, you're gonna remember where everything is. So this does require a little bit of memorization. I don't think it really requires you to specifically try and remember. After you pull several shifts, you're going to remember where everything is without having to think. And there is a system to where everything is. The lanes are actually one way, but you're not supposed to go in the wrong way. Let's say you pass by a lane that is going the wrong way, but the product is really close to you. So what I personally do, no one even told me that I'm not supposed to do this or that I'm supposed to do this. I just thought, okay, this is faster rather than pushing my car all the way through one-way lane on the next aisle and then make a U-turn and then coming back. If the product is, let's say, about 3 shelves in, I can just take several steps, grab the product, you know, scan it, grab the product, and then come back out. And this is a lot faster than pushing the car all the way through. Of course, if there is someone in that aisle already and they're coming up, I just have to judge if I can fetch the item before they come out. And if they are all the way at the end already and I can't go through, well, I just have to do it the long way, go the one-way route, and then come back behind them and wait for them to exit before I can get the product. The next thing is working around delays in the system. After you scan a product and then you scan a bag, because that's the bag it's supposed to go in, it says, okay, you know, that's the bag. But after you scan the bag, there is a slight split-second delay. And I don't like this, because after I scan the bag, usually you're ready to go, right? But if you scan the bag and you're ready to go, then you're essentially standing there waiting for the scanner to load before you can leave. So what I like to do is I scan the item and then I scan the bag, thus initiating the delay process, right? And then I go fumble around and putting the things in nicely. Within that time, it's already loaded. So after I put the products in the bag, then I look at the scanner and it's ready for me to absorb the material and then go to the next location. Let's say you need to take 2 of these jars of something. If you scan one of the 2 items and then you put it in the bag, you come back to your scanner, it's gonna ask you what the quantity is. If you put in the quantity then, after you confirm it, you're gonna have to wait like a second or so. I don't know the exact timing, but there's a slight delay in there. And then you have to scan the bag. This is essentially a wait time. So what you want to do instead is, once you scan the shelf, it says what item that you need to pull out. You pull those items out and then you put in the quantity right then and there. And then you go and put it in the bag. And within that time frame, it's already loaded, and then you scan the bag. So you see, you have to do the scanning in a certain order to kind of adjust for the system delays. Bagging produce or meat, it's obvious that you need to bag these things at the produce department at the grocery store. You put your groceries in a bag because it's a little wet. The meat stuff might have juices and stuff, so you want to bag them so that it doesn't contaminate other things. There are other restrictions that you have to bag. I'm not going to talk about those, but there are going to be bags all around. This is not the exact bag, by the way. It's just some random bag that I have. Instead of trying to open something up a little bit like this, and then let's say you put in the product and then you just kind of like dunk it and then go, okay, go to the bottom, right? But sometimes the product might be wet, sometimes it might be clingy to the bag itself. So this is what I do instead. I have a fresh bag over here. By the way, you might have these bags hanging on the shelf. You might have these bags hanging on your cart because you were well prepared or whatnot. I find the easiest way is to kind of open it up. It's really easy to open, by the way. Once you know you're doing produce or meat, you need to drop your scanner down at the front of your cart. You need to drop it because this is a 2-hand job to do it very, very quickly. With one hand, I don't know how you can do it with one hand, But with two hands, you hold the bag on one side and the other one, you just kind of dunk your hand in there, just like that. And you turn it into a glove. You grab whatever, let's say these are apples, and then you flip it inside out like that. Boom, right there. And then you put it in there and you know, it's done. Now what happens if there are more than one item? Let's say I have two apples like this. I put my hands in and I try to grab as many as I can. Let's say I can only fit two in my hand. Okay, fine, I'll put it in there. After it's flipped, it's nice and ready to just put all these apples in here. So I can just go, okay, I'm gonna put another one, 3, 4, whatever number that you want, put it in the bag. And the last time I talked about eating these nut thins, because I found them while I was working there, I'm like, oh, great, you know, give it a try. It tastes kind of plain, and it's interestingly crunchy. Sometimes you just want some crunch just to satisfy your taste buds. I don't have a dozen eggs, so I have this simulated dozen eggs. It's actually supposed to be longer, but I'm gonna try and show you what I mean by putting the rubber bands on. Assume this is the long side, okay? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you wanna hold the eggs like this. Of course, you gotta check if all the eggs are intact. You don't want any broken ones, right? Just like if you're shopping at a normal grocery store. You see how my index finger is up here and my pinky is down here. You gotta put two rubber bands on so the eggs doesn't fall out, right? So I'm gonna grab the rubber band with my index finger and then boom. I put one on pretty quickly. And this is all in mid-air. It's really hard to, you know, find a flat surface and do this on. I have another rubber band here. Put the pinky around the rubber band to hold it underneath the eggs and then do the second one. So really easily, without moving your hand, you can do 1, 2, just like that. 2 rubber bands around the eggs and you're ready to go. Now this is also possible with 18 eggs as well. It's just a little bigger, so you gotta be more careful so that it's a little bit heavier and a little bulkier. But it is possible to do the same trick with 18 egg versions. Reaching tall shelves. Now, I think it's a safety thing. You cannot do like a tiptoe and reach too high. They prefer you to use step ladders. For me, in light of trying to be as fast as possible, I am of average height so that I can reach up top without tiptoeing. A few times I do have to use a ladder because I just can't reach the items in the very far back. But I would say like this is an advantage of taller people, or at least average height or taller. If you're really short, then you might end up having to go grab stuff on the top shelf and you have to waste time grabbing the ladder and stuff. So this is not really more of a tip, but rather a consideration that, when you are of at least average height, you're gonna get stuff faster without extra steps. And this is a necessary thing in order to be fast. You want to grab stuff on the top shelf. Let me know if these tips help, because I'm gonna have more as I work there longer. It's been interesting so far for me because I'm learning. I am trying to be as fast as possible. However, the learning curve is kind of slowing down. And it appears that when I am not learning, it's not as interesting for me. So if you guys have an idea of where I should work next, if you know someone that has a business that would like me going in there, working a week, a day, or 3 or whatnot, let me know in this email over here. I'm in the San Diego area right now. So shoot me an email and I might just be able to come out and help out in your business for a few days. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. I put my hands in and I try to grab as many as I can. Let's say I can only fit 2 in my hand. Okay, fine, I'll put it in there. After it's flipped, it's nice and ready to just put all these apples in here. So I can just go, okay, I'm gonna put another 1, 3, 4, whatever number that you want, put it in the bag.